Justin, unfortunately we've got to start with that Challenge Cup disappointment.
Yes, it is that. Very much disappointing.
How do you get over it?
Oh, look, the best thing and the only positive I can think is that we're playing again this week, and that's the only thing I could think of as a playing group and as staff, to be honest. Obviously at the start of the year we wanted to make the Challenge Cup final, wanted to get to Wembley and obviously try and win it. But not to be, we've been knocked out, and the only positive is we get to continue on with our Super League season, and that's the best thing for us, is to play again, because had it been like last year, last minute, last second of a semi-final, then you get that sits with you for 5 months. So the beauty about getting knocked out is we get to continue with our Super 8 starting this week.
Because you've been on a hell of a run, haven't you?
Yeah, and that's what makes it harder. When you win 14 in a row, you forget to lose, and you forget how to lose, and you just assume you're going to keep playing well. And we didn't underestimate Catalans. We know how well they're playing now. We just got it wrong on the day. We made a lot of errors early on a hot day, and they're a big side, and they made us pay. And as I said, we hadn't felt that for 15 weeks, so nearly 4 months, we hadn't felt that way. So you forget how it feels, and it hurts a lot, in particular being that semi-final. But as I said, even to the group, that the Challenge Cup we wanted to make, but the Super League's what rewards consistency, and that's what we've done prior to now. And Challenge Cup, you can get lucky with draws. Like Catalans had 2 League One teams, and then they played Huddersfield when both teams hadn't won a game for 6 weeks, but they got through, and then in the end of the day outperformed us by a mile, and now they're in the Challenge Cup final. Whereas Super League, you can't get lucky. You got to play 30 rounds. You got to get yourself into the top 4, and then you got to deliver on a semi, and then you got to do it on a final. So while the Challenge Cup's always going to hurt for a long time, for me the Super League is what rewards the best teams, and that's what our only focus now.
How have your players reacted this week in training?
Yeah, well, they're okay now. Now it's late in the week. It's been hard for them as well, and that's what I said to them. Don't beat yourselves up. You didn't want to play poorly on Sunday. As I said, there were no signs that it was going to happen. It just all seemed to snowball out of control, and we couldn't do anything about it. So it was a matter of giving them a few days to be down about it, because it is disappointing for so many people, and I acknowledge that. So many fans in our town wanted to get to Wembley and wanted us to get there, and we've shown every sign that we could do that, and that's the hard thing. And the senior players like Wilco and Robes, it's hard on them, because they've said we've lost in the Challenge Cup before, but we haven't felt like we're in a position that we're in now for a lot of years. So it was hard, and it has taken some time, and it probably won't fully go away for me and a few of the guys until after the Challenge Cup final's on, to be honest. Once that finishes, I think everything will completely switch to Super 8s, which will be great. For us, lucky enough, it switches straight away. I can't guarantee we're going to play great Friday. It's we'll do our best, but it will still be tough to get over. But the best thing, as I said earlier in the interview, is to play on Friday.
Are you ready, best you can be, to play Huddersfield though?
Yeah, definitely. It was more, as we've spoken about, mentally just putting that behind us and getting on with it. On a short turnaround, we played Sunday on a hot day against a physical side like Catalans, and we've come off the back of 4 or 5 hard games. So there's nothing physically we had to try and get into them this week. It was just clear our heads and freshen up and get back to what we've done, every other week. It's not a case now of losing any confidence or faith in our team or how we play. It's just seen as a bad day. Unfortunately, on the day we didn't want it to happen, and get back to doing what we've done all year.
Putting the Challenge Cup aside, then, how's the Super League been so far then for Saints?
Yeah, obviously we've had a great season so far at the end of the regular season. To sit where we sit, I'm obviously really happy about. But the reason we've done it, because every week we've realised that every game's hard, and we won't change that moving forward. We've earned a good lead. We've deserved to get that lead by how well we've played. And every week means something to us, and that's why we've played well, and we've never dipped in our performances. We haven't won some convincingly, but you're never going to have everything go your way on such a long season. So to sit where we sit, I'm obviously happy, but not content, because we know all the big games are ahead of us. We slipped up in a big game on Sunday, so we've got to work hard now for the next seven games to get a home semi, and we've got to perform then.
And you're aiming to win all 7?
Oh, that like to. Can't guarantee that, but if you'd asked me if we'd won 21 out of 23, you're not going to plan for that. You're just going to try and prepare every week to beat your best, whether it's no matter who you're playing against. So we realise we're going to be playing some teams now that are jostling for positions no harder than game one in the Super 8s with Huddersfield. They've got to win all 7 games, so they'll be coming here this week with a grand final approach. And for us, it's not crucial we win, but as I said, the reason we've won the games we haven't had to is because we've got pride in our performance and the standards that we play at. And the reason we've worked hard to get all our St Helens fans behind us is because of how we've gone about playing, and we've wanted to win every week, and we don't want that to change.
10 points clear, 7 games to go. You're in the semis. How do you guard against complacency?
Yeah, well, as I said, prior to Sunday, unfortunately, there's been no signs. Well, there's no signs of it on Sunday. We just played poorly. So, for those reasons I've said, we've trained well every week for the whole year. You're never perfect at training, but we've always had the right intent and the right attitude towards training, and we've carried that into the games. Not just from my doing or the other staff, obviously. It helps with good leaders, like your James Roby, John Wilkin, Ben Barber, Johnny Lomax, Zeb Tayers, like those type of guys, and to lead the way as well as getting everyone else to perform to their best, and that's what good sides do. They perform every week and don't fluctuate. And while we win games, we're happy we win them, but we know we can get better. And I've said this a few times. Every other team's getting better as the season gone on, and we're no different. That's how we want to continue with 7 games to go. We want to enjoy playing too, and that's what good teams do. You don't start trying to skip games and fast forward and bring the semis on. You can't do that. So what you got to do is enjoy it. And round 1 of the Super 8s, we get to run out on our home field, and that's something that we all, I enjoy as a coach, seeing the players run out here, and that's what I believe can help you playing well, is look forward to doing what you do and enjoy doing it, and that's what we want to try and continue going into the Super 8s.
Do you tell the lads, forget you're in the semis? Forget you're in the semis.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. As I said, for a number of weeks now, we haven't had to win as many games as we've won. I think going back a month, we had to play Hull at Hull, and they pretty much had to win to stay in touch with the 4, and we knew that, and we were sort of good enough to beat them. And then we went to Wigan, and obviously our arch rivals good enough to beat them. And then here at Warrington, the last round of the regular season, we just got them at the end. So, we know where we sit, and we're not shying away from that, but we want to stay there. And so that, as I said, that'll start with looking forward to playing this week and going week to week from there.
Is it a tough challenge as a coach now? Because basically you've got these 7 games that are very important, but you want them to peak now in that semi-final. Is that the challenge?
Well, it will be in 7 weeks' time. Yeah, and that's what it will come down to. It won't matter if we finish 18 points clear at the end of the, whoever we play in that semi-final is what counts. So there's a lot of rugby league to be played between now and then. So as I said, there's no point in trying to focus on something in 7 or 8 weeks in advance when we've got to play a game here on Friday night. So I know it's an old cliche and everyone says it in every sport, but you literally can only take it a week at a time, and there's no point planning ahead, because the minute you do that, you take your eye off what's important now, and there's too many things you've got to work on in rugby league every week, so there's no point trying to skip any time. Just enjoy it while it's here, and before we know it, it'll be around. We've played 23 games and it's flown through, and the next 7 will go even quicker. So we'll just look forward to every one of them.
If you did get there, what would it mean to lead St Helens out at Old Trafford?
Oh, obviously everything. We got bundled out, the extra time of the semi-final last year, and for me personally, as much as it hurt, I wanted to go to Old Trafford grand final day. I obviously wanted to be having our team playing there, and the fact that we didn't, I wanted to go out and get a feel for it. And the whole day I was obviously jealous that we weren't there, and I'm not going to shy away from that. It hurt to be there, but I could also see, the Theatre of Dreams at Old Trafford, and it was fantastic atmosphere, and just thinking the whole time, I want to get there. And for myself, it pretty much started this year's campaign there, and then, dust myself off from semi-final loss, watch the grand final, and then start planning for this year. And as I said, it's gone really quick so far, but, there's still a fair bit to go.
What did you and the players learn from that semi against Castleford?
Oh, look, that was a really tough night. Very different to the Challenge Cup semi. We played poorly Challenge Cup semi and got beaten, deserved to get beat by a better Catlans team. semi-final Super League last year, probably a different story. I thought we did everything we could to win that game, and for one reason or another wasn't to be. There was not one particular reason that we didn't win that night. I thought we gave ourselves every chance, and in the end, sometimes you don't get there, and we just missed out. So we learnt that we want to go further than last year. That's probably what we learnt. We learnt nothing, out of the 80 minutes apart from us trying as hard as we could. And this year it's about going further than that and going on to win the Super League. But we also realise every other team's thinking that. I think the bottom four have got to do something miraculous to get in the top four, but I think what you'll see is the top four jostling for positions, and that's probably what will be the main thing. And then, as you said, it comes down to a semi-final, and all four who get there are all going to think they can win, and deservedly so. So we don't see ourselves, like I said before round one started, we don't see ourselves miles above anyone else. We see ourselves as good a chance as any, and we've proven that so far, and we want to continue to do that.
It's a team game, but there's been some outstanding performances this season. You made James Roby your skipper. What a year he's had. Yeah,
fantastic. Robes, and John Wilkins always one of our leaders and continued to be that. But for me, James Roby deserved the opportunity to captain his club before he retires, and he's been fantastic. And probably been hard on him that the fact that I've left him out there for 80 minutes every week. Not too many hookers do it, and especially this time of year when it gets the hottest it can be in summer here, and he's still playing 80, which is probably not fair on him, but he'd never asked for any different. And in particular, a couple of weeks ago at Wigan was one of our fastest paced games we've played all year, and he made the most impact out of any player. So I can't think I can't praise him more highly enough as a leader, and as one of the main reasons why we've been consistent every week is the fact that he plays consistently every week. So number of players are playing great, but he's definitely one of them.
And Ben Barber was just a delight to watch.
Yeah, brilliant Benny, and in particular first probably 12 rounds of competition I thought really showed his class, and he was probably a step above everybody in the comp, to be honest. And for one reason or another, he's copped a couple of niggles in different areas that it's affected his training, and he's played a game, missed a game on and off for 6 or 7 weeks, and he needs to try and string a few games together to get back to that blockbuster best how he started the year. He's not there at the moment, and if we can get him back there, that'll give us a good lift.
Your second season, your first full season now. You still enjoying it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, obviously, when you coach a professional sporting team and you're sitting 10 points clear, you're obviously not going to say you're not enjoying it, but I've loved it, and I've loved it straight away. As soon as I got over here, said our playing group fantastic, our staff's great, and the club, from our CEO, chairman, the board, you need everything to be working together to enjoy it, and I think we've got that mix right across everywhere, and the supporters are obviously coming back in numbers. So look, everything's great. I would have been even happier prior to Sunday, that's for sure. We're on target to try and win everything. We would have loved to have done that. That's not to be now. And a good example is in football. It's massive over here. And last year, Man City tried to win everything and got bundled out. The FA Cup was equivalent to Challenge Cup, didn't they, by a League One side, which you wouldn't have seen coming. So, we've got to deal with Sunday's loss and purely focus on making this season a successful one, because we need it to be.
And St Helens fans watching this, and you enjoying living in the northwest?
Yeah, definitely. And as I said, the whole town, it's a great rugby league town, and that's what I love about it. The north of England are really passionate about rugby league, and as we know, outside of it, it's football dominance. So to have the rugby league stranglehold in the town's great to have. It's great to get it over our other sports. So and for myself, been obviously made very welcome, and a lot of great people here, and in particular at the club.